equal to 10. What is this called as? This is called as assignment or rendering. So then you say x equal to 10. This is called as initializing. Initialization. Am I right? Initialization. This is called as initialization. That means you are saying that constructor is to initialize values. That means constructor is used to do this. Can't a constructor assign values? Constructor can assign values. Constructor can assign values. You can declare this property outside the constructor. We can declare that property outside the constructor. We can declare the property outside the constructor, right? And you can assign value into the constructor. Then why you people talk about only initialization of values? When you talk about constructor, everybody have this answer. What is the purpose of constructor? To initialize values, right? So that is wrong. That is not actually the concept of constructor actually. Technically, what is the purpose of constructor? What is a constructor actually? See, constructor, it is a special type of function in class. It is a special type of function in class which performs a callback, which performs a callback automatically. So performs a callback actually technically. So which performs a callback. What do you mean by callback? Callback means so a callback function can execute automatically if the condition is satisfied. That means if the condition is satisfied, if the situation matches better than condition satisfied, if the situation matches, a callback function can execute automatically. Technically, constructor is a special type of function in a class which performs a callback. Callback means which executes automatically. So you don't need to call it. It will automatically execute when the situation matches for it. That means you don't need to call. Generally, function needs to be called. You write a function, you have to call the function. You need to call the function. But constructor is a special type of function which you don't need to call. It will perform a callback automatically. That is what the ability of constructor. Generally, so the constructors, when we are working with the constructors, so it is not just initializing of values. A constructor can perform a lot of functionalities, and any functionality that you want as callback. That means any functionality that you want as a callback, any functionality that you want as a callback for class, you have to define in a constructor. You have to any functionality that you want as a callback for class, then you have to define it. Then you have to define it in a constructor. I will show you the point how it will actually handle it. One point we will see that. And Usually, actually, constructor 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 is an anonymous 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 function. Constructor is an anonymous function. The anonymous function means that is function without any name. Constructor is an anonymous function. That means anonymous function means in functions I will tell you, but actually if you have learned JavaScript, you might have learned about anonymous functions. Constructor is an anonymous function. That is a function without any name. It is a function without any name. It is an anonymous function. It doesn't have a name. So the class name is given to the constructor. The class name is given to the constructor, So explicitly you cannot define a name for constructor. Explicitly you cannot define a name for constructor. So it is implicitly name is defined for a constructor. It is anonymous actually. I will tell you what is anonymous first. For example, see, I am creating some sample.js. So here, observe what I am doing. I am writing a function, and it is empty and console.log. So I said hello JavaScript, something like this. I given some sentence. Now you see, this is a function, and this function is not having any name. That function is not having any name. If a function is not having the name, obviously it will show a problem. So it is not having any name, then obviously it will have a problem. Is not having any name, then it will have a problem, right? That means how you will call it, how you will execute. Do you know in JavaScript, anonymous functions are defined. So you see how to call this anonymous function. Actually, I can enclose this in the parenthesis like this. And do you know that to invoke the anonymous functions, actually the compiler uses a empty parenthesis like this. Empty parenthesis is to invoke the constructor. Empty parenthesis is to invoke the constructor. That means actually it is used to invoke the function. That means function is having a name. Suppose it is having a name print, then you will call it. If it is not having a name, then how you will call it? Then we use this mechanism. This is anonymous function, and run this and see. So node sample.js, you can see anonymous function is working. This is called anonymous function. That means a function without name. Constructor is like an anonymous function, and it is like an anonymous function. And internally, the constructor is invoked like this. That is very important to understand with the constructor, right? That's the reason when you define constructor, so in Typescript, constructor is created by using the keyword constructor. It is created by using constructor. It is created by using the keyword constructor. Right. Let's see how to handle this. How we can work with this. It is created. That means how to create a constructor. Let's create a class as demo class. Okay. This demo class. So suppose I will give the purpose here database. Now